All right, everybody, good afternoon and welcome on back. Continuing along our Monday and, of course, starting off our brand new week here in the Cyber Group room and streaming across social media, Facebook and YouTube alike here. Welcome on back for our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick chat back just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. And, well, no surprise, I guess, to some of us. I mean, certainly a surprise to me. The Dow is squeezing up going into the afternoon once more. Great to see everybody. Michael, Bonnie, Donnie, Kathleen, Matthew R., one of our newest trial members joining us this week. I saw he did very nicely. I think it was on the NKLA trade. Way to go, Matthew, alongside Ralph, Ron, Amy, William, Patrick, Dennis, Tim, loud and clear. Perfect. And you know what? I skipped one's name here to begin, guys, in the chat board. And if it was anyone else, I apologize. But I did skip one person's name here in the chat board. I wanted to start off actually with a huge shout out to one of our students who just posted that today in the trading room, he had made his best day ever as far as profitability goes. And in terms on the heels of the last 2 weeks, he ended up picking up his 2 other best days ever. I want to give a big shout out to Chuck C in our chat board right now. Chuck, let me ask you, because we have some people streaming on social media right here, Facebook and YouTube. How long have you been with CTU? And realistically, I know that these have been your best days ever joining us, and they've been kind of snowballing together one after another. At what point do you think the light bulb kind of like really turned on for you? You know, it's different for everybody. So I just like to ask Chuck here, if I may, and I just want to get his thoughts. Says, let me think about that. No problem, Chuck. How about this? We'll get back to you. The Dow is squeezing up right now. I wanted to turn over to this because there's a classic quote I have up here on my other screen from Albert Einstein, one Albert Einstein here. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, like I had said before, some of us might not be surprised by the Dow squeezing up once more, but I mean, hey, at what point are we going to see this thing pull back? I mean, honestly, day after day after, I mean, gap up after gap up at this point, it sounds like, right? I mean, of course, once more, we saw the Dow up a little bit overnight, the futures, and we ended up seeing more of a pop at the open, maintained going into the mid to late morning, a bit of a dip, but a higher low. And of course, at this point going into the afternoon, still holding really strong. So, you know, for right now, guys, at least we'll actually rather in a moment, we will turn over to some of the side list stocks. For right now, I'd like to dip right over to some of the other trades that we had from the morning. We'll see if some of the other stocks, of course, you know, that follow the Dow, that follow the S&P, that will look to, you know, continue to follow suit going into the afternoon. But I'd like to jump into one of the trades I think that a bunch of us made some good money on today. I mean, following Fausto's lead here going into the mid to late morning, it was the NKLA trade. And, well, if you look at that, it's right near the all-time highs once more. Give me a quick sec, guys. I'm going to switch over to the pre-market settings here on the chart. All right. So with that in mind, guys, you know, you could see the NKLA trade, formerly VTIQ. We've been following this stock across the last really 2 weeks on and off, more on than off, but, you know, breaking all-time highs once more here, a huge gap up early on in pre-market. And from that point, as soon as the market opened up, took off. So, you know, the NKLA trade, again, formerly VTIQ, ended up squeezing all the way up at the time towards the pre-market high, $44. And after a long while, ended up making a huge rally and squeeze up from there. All right, guys. So, you know, when a stock ends up breaking all-time highs, it's easy for me to say this, but, you know, there's no historical resistance ahead. I mean, just to see the enormity of the pop here, right, from 50 all the way up towards just about 57 at the time. I mean, 61 ultimately the high here. But, you know, Fausto is narrating this at the time. He was calling out this huge iceberg order on the ask right at $50. And I mean, it caught him by huge surprise just to see how fast of a breakout we had on this NKLA trade. But I mean, let me ask for everybody here on this in this trading room, at least, who here made money with Fausto going into the mid to late morning off that pop? As much as the afternoon goes, we'll follow this, certainly put this on our watch list. I don't think we really traded this as much going into the early afternoon, really off that dip. We kind of, you know, put our focus elsewhere. John, you made money on it? Very nice. Matthew did, one of our newest trial members, like I had mentioned before. He did pretty nice on it. William, William picked up some good money on it. I know that he had, I think, what was it, William? Like 3 strikes to you out on Friday. Small losses here and there, but right back on the horse today. Chuck says, part of his best day ever. He says he did at least, but not on many shares. He said he made $1.10. He said in total. Chuck, that is. Michael did. Jorge, I saw you pick up like $7 a share on this trade. What was your entry on that, Jorge? If you're tuning in, I remember Jorge posted. He said $7 a share on this. Man, he killed it. Greg says he made a few bucks also. Very nice. I love to hear that. In our trading room, guys, and I appreciate everybody that made money on this because I saw you guys did this earlier at least. For all of us that are posting our profits in the trading room, aside from right now, of course, I'm just asking to see everybody here, but mainly we like to post our entry points after the profit we post. Why is that? Because for other students that might not have made money, or for other students that just did, it's just a good opportunity for you to better study along and understand, why a trader is making money, where they ended up ultimately getting in. Jorge, that's right, Jorge. Thank you. He said he posted here in the chat board just now. He ended up getting in at 52.64, and I had asked him at the time, which he had said yes, I think. He ended up getting in shortly after the dip, so it was after the pullback here, after the initial run up. We ended up, or rather, Jorge ended up getting in at 52.64. He had said. He picked up just about $7 a share, I saw. Very nice, Jorge. All right. Ivan says he just picked up $2.05 on Lyft just now from Friday, a swing trade there. Let's just check that out quickly. Lyft, a stock that certainly will look to move with the market. Great side list stock, Ivan, and very nice swing trade, of course. I'm guessing he ended up getting in from like 38, maybe sub 38, like 37.90-ish. He said he picked up 205 on it, so fantastic swing trade there, Ivan. For right now, Lyft, much like the market, seems to kind of be holding strong, but making this bit of a funnel here. However you may phrase this, it's trading in a tighter range. You can see the funnel building, though, the higher lows, the lower highs, and we'll look to see where Lyft goes, perhaps with the market lifting up going into the afternoon. So for right now, guys, like I said, we had the NKLA trade. I just want to head back over to that one quickly. I had said to you guys, I'm going to put this on our watch list going into the afternoon. It's still kind of squeezing up there towards the all-time highs. So we'll look to see if it could break just that, 61.80, assuming the next iceberg would be at 62. So, for this trade even, it would be like lazy for me to say, lazy for me to say every dollar level. Realistically, this stock is trading pretty much every $2. 56, moving up to 60, up to 62. So for the afternoon, definitely we'll put the stock on our list. The spread's opening up, though. It's been open pretty much this whole afternoon here. It's like 34 cents, 50 cents here. So we'll put this on our list. Definitely more of a level 5 stock, though. All right. So we also had some of the other oil stocks moving up as well. WLL. This one ended up making a huge rally going into the early afternoon off the breakout at the market open, of course, too. This thing's been pretty much the star of the whole day, it seems like. The WLL trade breaking out shortly after the open. We can go over this trade perhaps in our Traders Talk workshop tomorrow morning, that is. 11:05 Eastern time. We'll host right here in our live trading room. But, we saw the first breakout on this trade essentially off of $2 from 2 cleanly up to essentially 240, 250. It was holding underneath. And then from that point, moving up higher, broke above 250. I never really, like to say a trade is too easy too often, because for new traders here, trial members just kind of trying to understand what we're following along and why we're doing it, it's not really that easy at first. But to be transparent, if you're following along what we go through in class, this breakout trade off 250, it was instant money. It was pretty easy if you were able to be there, right there at the time. So from that point, squeezed pretty much up 40 cents perfectly, 44 rather, up to 294. It's bouncing right now, moving back up towards 280-ish, 62,000 share order on the ask right now. So alongside the NKLA trade, rather, the WLL trade we'll put back on our watch list. I'd like to say the same for OAS. It's not as strong, though. We saw this break above 2 earlier here, so, should this re-break above resistance above 2 here, I'd like to think this would be a pretty interesting setup to take going into the afternoon. OAS had moved with the WLL trade earlier on today, at least. So for right now, we'll kind of keep this on our side list, but you could see alongside the WLL, at least from the morning, the OAS was one of the nicer runs up as well there. From Abdallah in our chat board here, what about CHK? We're going to get to that in a moment, rather. We'll hop to that right now. CHK ended up just, going nuts, right? This thing blasted off from what, 45, 47 bucks, all the way up there, just cleanly up to 77. This got halted, 5, 7 times over on the way up. And then just on the way back down, it's just even worse because you're going to see bigger gaps after a stock had ran all the way up like this. Even if it's a cheaper trade to make this type of exponential lift up, when it ends up getting halted on the way down, it's going to make some bigger gaps on the way down than it had made on the way up. So it's much more difficult to get out of a stock like this as it's getting halted down. That's why we always say, take the money and run. You can never go broke taking a profit, right? Well, at least that's on the way up. So this was a really nice trade if you were able to get in on time. I didn't really trade this myself. The spread opened up crazy. Just as this kept going. And even right now, it's a 20-cent spread, 30-cent spread. So for right now, I'm not going to put this on our main watch list going into the close, Abdallah. But, and it's not even a but, and I would stay away from this at least for the meantime. So, just for as much of a run as this had on the way up, it's just kind of weak right now. You could see it seems like it's just still making this perfect downtrend off the highs with these kind of breaks down here a little bit lower. So I'd stay away from the CHK going into the afternoon. From John C. calling out DGLY, or rather maybe just asking for a quick review on it. We'll get to this here as well. DGLY from last week, at the end of last week, rather, ended up making a huge rally going into the afternoon. This morning ended up, shortly after the pullback, ended up making a nice breakout from 4 up towards just about 485 high, double top. And for what it's worth right now, it's in a tighter range. I would like to come back to this stock, John, going into the afternoon, just once we're done with the rest of the gainers and losers list. But for right now, this just doesn't appeal as much to me. It did just make a pop. So if you're in this trade right now, of course, this pop up is certainly helping you. I hope to see a lot more of this. This was a fantastic trade from earlier today, from Friday, of course, as well. I will come back to this. I'm not going to write this off just yet, but I want to see a little bit more than what we're getting here. There we go. All right. Maybe it listened to me. So certainly we'll come back to this. I wouldn't mind putting this on our main list. I'd just like to see if there are any other stocks that are either making better trends at this point, either setting themselves up for a better run. Yeah, this thing's doing a damn good job, though. Definitely listen to me there. All right, so aside from that, what we'll do is just go from top to bottom, guys. For any of the others, what we'll do is just recap them very quickly as we just transition from our gainers to losers list here. So this one to begin, OPESW. I don't know, I'll say that 3 times fast. This thing is not really doing too much. Up big, but XOG, another oil and gas stock. I missed out on this at least from earlier today. A nice cheapie from 80 cents all the way up to $1.24. And a little bit of a move up just recently here, but again, I'm going to pass, at least for now. CHK, same thing. I just went over that. Val was one of the better trades today too. So just to take a small amount of time on this Val trade, it's still up 120%. Ended up making the same type of pop as we had seen the others at the open here, from 150 essentially up to 175. Nice Fausto flag that built that led to the breakout up towards 2. I didn't really think it was going to make this type of run going into the afternoon, though. But hey, I'm not going to let my assumptions get ahead of me. Much like we try and teach you guys here in the trading room, just because a stock doesn't appear to be making a certain type of move just yet, doesn't mean that it's not going to. That's why I say, DGLY, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to the OAS trade, as we finish up these, gainers and losers lists, and perhaps the same with this Val trade. This ended up making a nice continued move up off 2, up towards just about 230. Was that 233? No, 230, the high there. All right. So for right now, yeah, like I'd said, Val alongside OAS, DGLY. Maybe we'll come back to this. ended up making a nice move Friday, ended up making a nice run up at the open, another one going into the afternoon. So at what point is this going to begin to pull back, go the other way, or perhaps even worse, just exhaust itself out and just kind of stay doing this the whole time? All right. Bohr, another one, right? Another oil stock or drilling stock here. Now, this one's making a much more active run up. So I saw Philip, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Philip B in our trading room ended up saying, I think it was Bohr that just is the gift that keeps on giving. So ended up making a nice breakout after a while off of 205 up towards 280-ish there, 286. Man, all right. So, you know what? For the recent run in activity, certainly I'm going to put this on our main list. Bohr, uh, it's doing a good job pulling back at least. So, you know, hey, that answers my question for right now. At what point is this going to begin to, pull back, maybe consolidate, make a higher low perhaps for a bit, begin to build up some support? So it seems like it's starting to do that at least. Maybe this will make a new run up going into the afternoon. Looks like we had some big volume filled off 250 here. Damn. 2:44 Eastern time. What we'll do is dig through the tape. Let's see. Yeah, 250, a whole bunch of prints here. 31,000 at 244. 245, 244. Yeah, looks like 250-ish. 244, of course, it bounced off 240 here at the time, but look to see if this could at least hold over like 244 for right now, should it re-break under 250. But yeah, Bohr will put on our main list going into the close in hopes of this making a new run up going into the afternoon. All right, there we go. So NE up next, and we'll keep pushing here at this point, guys. WLL, here we go, up to 290 at this point, already on our list. All right, give me a quick sec, guys. Water break. I want to get to Chuck here in a second as well. Chuck just finished up just his post before I'd asked him just a question a moment ago. So Chuck says that, just getting back to Chuck C from our chat board here, who had posted his best day ever, he just wrote to us a moment ago. I think my execution has improved. I'm also more aware of the pre-market levels and really paying attention to trend. When volume slows, I'm taking the money and running. I've avoided shakes. I'm also mostly trading stocks that I'm familiar with. How about that last part, guys? Because that's what we talk about in class. So you'll hear from Chuck, someone who's not really trading the crazy level fives. Just simply, he's mostly sticking to the stocks that he's familiar with. He says, in the last 3 weeks, I'm just faster in my execution and assessment. I did think I was awful, just better now. So, well, at some point, the light bulb turned on, Chuck, right? So I appreciate your feedback, at least. Thank you. All right, so WLL, definitely going to put this on our list. Huge iceberg order at 3, says Fausto here in our chat board. So for right now, guys, keep a good eye on this WLL trade. We'll keep it pushing, though, otherwise. SDRL, blast from the past. Seadrill. I remember trading the stock when I was like first employed back in 2014. Slow moving level 1, it's only dropped off over time. I guess it made a nice pop at the open. Oh man, MIT. Oh my goodness. So alongside MFA, NYMT, the MIT trade ended up being one of the better ones across the last week or so. And of course, today its biggest move. So broke out essentially from 5 and continued pushing up the whole time. So no, there's no better description than that, really. Ended up making a nice, second breakout from 650 up towards just about 8. Pulled back for a while, volume died off. And for the meantime here, it still seems to be kind of in a tighter range, pretty flat. I want to check in, though, on some of the other mortgage stocks, the MFA, the NYMT. I think there was one more, IVR. Yeah, MFA pretty flat, at least right now, or it was a little bit of a run-up going into the mid to late morning. IVR was a sharper move, though, alongside the mid trade. IVR ended up making the same type of move that mid did, even sharper going into the mid to late morning off the breakout from 650. All right, so we'll come back to these if need be, but for right now, I feel like these stocks have already made their moves. All right, well, Hertz, unless this totally fell off. I mean, it did a bit, think it might be due for a squeeze back up, though. I'm going to put this stock still on our main list going into the afternoon, just given the range that it made today from low to high. So, for right now, I'd assume 450 to be the next support level. Not much showing on the matrix. I'm sure bookmap level 4 is going to show a whole bunch of volume at 450, but you could see the point where once this ended up breaking out from the 450 level earlier going into the afternoon, took off. So for as much of a run as this made it, pulling back, don't get me wrong, but perhaps given the range that this stock made from 3 to 6 plus, this can make a little bit of a hold and bounce at some point. So just given that opportunity, I'll put Hertz on our main list still. I mean, talk about a stock that's over traded, right? 429 million shares. All right. DGLY, it's popping back up here a little bit, right? So it did move all the way up over 450 and beyond here up towards, what was that, 465? All right, so there we go. DGLY, we will, at least now at this point, put on our main list. See, I just wanted to go through a first couple there, guys. I told you I was going to get to DGLY there, probably put this on our list. So I hope that this thing just continues, because if history repeats itself, that DGLY trade was a monster back in 2014. GNC, you talk about fortunate timing. This one ended up making a bit of a pop from $1 up towards 135, dropping off right now, but kind of similar to Hertz. Trading a lot of volume this point in the day. It already made a big move up, but given this recent breakout, at least we'll put this on our main list pretty easily. All right, NKLA getting ready for the next breakout there, up to 61. I mean, perfect timing here, actually. In the next, 10 seconds, this might just break the new all-time high. Let's see. Just re-broke above 61 at least. If it holds above that, then I mean, given the spread, it's going to be hard to say it's going to hold off 61. Yeah, it's pulling back here a bit right now. All right, we'll look to see if this could maintain above 61 here in a moment, the NKLA trade. GNC, OAS. I mean, we got through a lot of these already, guys. MIK. Oh, my goodness. MIK with one of the better runs today. Off the market open from 7 up to 8. Ended up making a new run off 750, essentially up towards 850. A dollar run up from there, too. I'm going to put this on our list. Still near the highs in case it continues to run, but it is shortable. So in case if we happen to see the shorts begin to take effect and we happen to see this drop off more, then we'd be able to follow that, right? So, MIK, either way you cut it, I'm going to put this on our main list easily too. All right. Let's see anything else. Fossil, taking a look at here. Nice run up, actually. Fossil about to break a new high of the day off 778. Some big volume spikes a moment ago here. It's funny. I finally, it finally happened. I always bash myself in these meetings for saying how big of a watch list I make going into the afternoons. I mean, given how much everything was moving this morning and pre-market, it's hard to really, cut the watch list down. But I think Fausto made like a 25 stock watch list this morning. So if I end up making one with 20, I can't really bash myself too much. So right now we have about 2, 4, 6, 8 stocks on our main list so far. Look to see if there's anything else that we could work with going into the afternoon here. This fossil trade is on our list at this point. All right. Let's see. Holy smokes, guys. Number 49 on the gainers list is up 40%. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to miss a whole bunch that's up right now, guys. Let me know if there's anything that you would want me to look at or call out really quickly just before we finish this meeting up. That goes across the board for anybody here in our trading room, across the trading room here, or across Facebook and YouTube. Number 49 is up 40%. That's crazy. So I'm going to hop over to the losers list, see if there's anything over here that looks all right, but I doubt it. LK Luck and Coffee down 11%, ended up making a bit of a pop just now. This could be a bit of an interesting move. If this can get back over 5, I think that this has some potential here to make a bit of a run up. We saw this break above 5 earlier. A lot of volume got filled on the run up. It only moved up to like 525 there, the highs you could see, and it held underneath 5 after. So, given the activity on this stock across the last week or so, I really don't mind putting this one on our list at this point. LK. Look to see if this can, hold here, begin to make a new breakout up over 5. Genus. A little bit of a move here. I'm not buying it just yet. Fold. This one's a sneaky short today. Wow. Ended up breaking down, it seems like, underneath 1170, and it pulled back for about 50-cent move. Very nice. Tight spread. It's fairly liquid right now, trading some volume. I don't mind. Look to see if this can continue trend. All right, let's see. I think that just about does it, though, on the loser side. I mean, nothing really else sticks out. No other familiar names here. This fold trade was one that stood out to me. I wanted to look into it. Also shortable, not hard to borrow. So, that kind of rung to me. Nothing really else sticks out, though, guys, on the losers list. So if there's anything else in the chat board, definitely let me know. Yeah, the NKLA trade, is that popping right now? Yep, there we go. All right, so it wasn't 10 seconds after I put this on our list, but or after I saw this at 61, but a couple of minutes after. There we go. So new all-time high once more on the NKLA trade. I mean, Fausto is saying he wouldn't be surprised if this hits 100 pretty shortly, guys. So, again, just simply with the fact of there being no historical ceiling to work with, we need to follow the order book. Level 3, level 4, if you have bookmap as well, either or will cut. But, focus at this point, basically, I mean, every $5, every $2 ahead, $65 in particular is going to be a big volume-based level. See if there's anything else, though, before that at this point, 64 even here. All right. Let's see. What else do we have from William WLL? He picked up 21 cents. Got in at 281 just a moment ago. William I here in the chat board. So nice trade off the breakout, Will. How about that? Put yourself in a position instantly to make money. Got in off the breakout here at 280. Now that's a nice looking Fausto flag, right? All right. What else do we have, guys? Work from Abdallah in the chat board. Down 2%. Nice little run up recently here, Abdallah. Nothing really too interesting about it otherwise, though, as far as like being up or down a certain percentage. I mean, it's a tradable stock. So if you're in it right now and making money, very nice. I love to hear that. And hey, if you've made money on this stock consistently in the past, and if you don't like really much else that I'm going to put on the main list, it wouldn't be a bad idea to stick with this. I'm not going to put this on the main list, though. I'm looking for something with a little bit more volatility. It's up or down a little bit more. The SPCB, really can't complain with the net change, though, up 92% right now. What happened to this thing today? So what? It popped super early in pre-market, like 4 o'clock, gapped up. That's why it's up 92%. Yeah, I mean, it's moving up here a bit, guys. So, this SPCB I'd rather focus on for right now. I will put this on our main list. And of course, you got Fausto here in the chat board. Of course, Fausto, we're watching this NKLA. We just went over this. Of course, this thing is pushing up like a monster again. Jeez. All right. So you heard it here first, guys. You heard Fausto earlier during the morning meeting, rather. This thing has a chance of hitting 100 at this point, right? Don't put all your eggs in that basket, by the way. Just follow the trend, follow the money that's coming in. It's not easy on a stock like this. All right, guys. Let's check social media, Facebook, YouTube, guys. I don't see any call outs. Hello, Bonnie, here in our YouTube stream right now. All right, guys, I think that just about does it. Thank you for sticking it out with me here. I just No water break today, so that was tough to do. In total, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 stocks. Actually, let's check in once more with like the side list ones. Val, nope, not going to cut it. OAS, if WLL is pushing, maybe that can break over too. That wouldn't be a bad setup. I think for right now, we'll scratch this from the list though. Fausto just wrote in the chat board here, guys. He is up $11 on his day trade position. He is in from 53. So that's right. He had re-entered this trade earlier. We spoke about that earlier, myself and Fausto. He was in, I think he had re-entered as it was pushing up around here, if I'm not mistaken. He was in the trade earlier. He sold, I forgot where at the time. I think it was around 56, 55-ish here. And then he had re-entered as it was pushing back up. All right, guys. So I think that just about does it. Aside from this list, which I always tend to say, start and stick with this list. This list will certainly give you a very good opportunity of stocks to try and follow going into the afternoon. Aside from this list, though, we'll see if there's anything else that can move with the market. Actually, before I part ways with you guys, maybe check in with the NCLHs of the world, UALs, the gaming stocks, all of our side list stocks here. Looks like NCLH is breaking new high right now. UAL. Airline pushing up towards 47 perhaps. I think Save's been a more volatile stock of late between the airlines. MGM's looking pretty good. That's a nice trend, up 8.5%. I wouldn't mind throwing MGM on our main list at the end of it all. And Penn, how about Penn after quickly breaking an all-time high, I think it was on Friday, early on in the morning, totally dumped off, and here it is now even. That's interesting that MGM is up 8.5+% and Penn is down 5+. Well, you know what? I wouldn't mind putting either on our list. For right now, we'll keep those on the side, though, for the meantime. I think we're going to start and stick with this list here to begin. All right, guys. So for anybody tuning in on social media, Facebook and YouTube, if you'd like to learn more about what we're offering here at Cyber Trading University, whether it be this online trading room or our online classroom, make sure that you guys call the phone number down below on the banner. And then from that point, one of our education advisors will gladly pick up and provide more detail. Look at this thing go. Jeez. I can't even take a breath with this thing moving up $1. All right, so I want to get in on this trade, guys. So we're going to finish this meeting up. Let's try and make some money going into the end of this Monday, guys. Take care.